Will Skull and Bones be dead on arrival? Well, we at least know that it doesn't have the wind in its sails, thanks to also other big news that we got this week. I just got back from an almost 2-week holiday break, so I want to share my thoughts on the situation. And there will also be timestamps in the video bar for other new leaks and rumors regarding a big delay, big Sony games that are not coming, the future of Rockstar, and way more. So let's get into it. Of course, if you like these big Sunday videos, then leaving a like would really be appreciated. And subscribe, because every Sunday I put up a big rumor and a news roundup video like this. Yes, we finally got the re-reveal for Skull and Bones. Joyce was able to see a presentation for the game and made a video going over a ton of gameplay details. I will link to that video in the video description. In short, you can run around in third person in special pirate dens and see other players as well, but the moment you leave, you will be stuck on your ship. So there's only naval combat with cutscenes that will play when you board enemies or other players. While this could have of course been a huge win if it was Black Flag but without the Assassin's Creed part, that we could do the melee combat ourselves and get off our ship and explore and find treasures on many different islands. So I think the game as it is now will be a hard sell for many people, especially because it is $60 or euro with 90 for a premium edition. And not to mention that it launches on November 8th, one day before God of War Ragnarok. Sure, it's a different type of game, it's also more focused on multiplayer, but I do think a ton of potential buyers on PlayStation will in a heartbeat get God of War that week instead. Not to mention that Ragnarok will likely take over the whole gaming industry in terms of conversation for at least 1 or 2 weeks after launch, causing way less eyes on Skull and Bones. It's like that meme where we are the mother playing with God of War while Skull and Bones, very fittingly, is drowning next to it. Now, I don't want to sound too harsh, because I do think that at one point we have to judge Skull and Bones on what it does include, what it's really trying to do, instead of what it could be. Like, I totally think that fun can be had here. I did enjoy the naval combat in Black Flag, but also in Odyssey and in Origins to a certain degree. And this should of course also add way more depth to that type of gameplay. There is quite a lot of progression and unlockables to get, so I can see myself get lost there. I did like the every other week sort of naval target we had in Odyssey, and we will likely have weekly challenges like that in this game as well. But yeah, that of course was still just a small part of the overall game, while right now it's all that we have. So I really think like a pre-launch open beta will be very important before we can make a good judgment. I still don't see it being like worth the full price. It will also likely be discounted during Black Friday, which a few weeks after launch. But I especially think that this would be a great Game Pass Day 1 title. I made this prediction a long time ago, and I think it's even more likely now. Like, Microsoft has extra incentive to make the deal with Ubisoft, so they have a nice counter in the same week that God of War comes out. And it would not be the first time for Ubisoft to have a big AAA game release day 1 on Game Pass, with Rainbow Six Extraction of course dropping day 1 on the service earlier this year. And I think that Skull and Bones is in a very similar situation. It will likely not have a ton of pre-orders leading up to release, while it is a game that needs a community to survive. Like, they already announced the years of post-launch content, and they plan to have this be like a recurring revenue stream for them for the years to come. So if this like that on arrival, that's not good for business. Plus, of course, getting a nice sum of cash from Microsoft upfront will also help with the insanely long development time and the high cost that likely comes with it. I'm not sure if they will get as desperate as Extraction though, where they dropped the price by $20 to $40 and also gave away a buddy pass so you could invite friends to play with you for free for 14 days. Not that it really helped the game in the long run, as it seems to be dead right now, with Twitch numbers for a multiplayer title being a pretty good indication of that. Compared to Rainbow Six Siege, these numbers are of course nothing. Also, RIP to Roller Champions. This free-to-play Ubisoft game launched just a few weeks ago. Hardly anyone watching it. Riders Republic is not doing well. Like, I find it really hard to see that Skull and Bones will be any different, especially looking at the bad buzz it's getting right now around the reveal. I overall hope I'm wrong. I would love for this game to be successful. maybe Ubisoft can turn the ship around. I think the Game Pass deal will really help, but we will have to wait and see. I overall think moving out of the busy fall window is smarter. Something that Forspoken is doing because the game was first planned for October 11th, but as a result of ongoing discussions with key partners, we've made the strategic decision to move the launch date of Forspoken to January 24th, 2023. So this according to Square Enix. I again think it's really smart to give the game even more polishing time because it looked kinda rough the last time we saw it, although the trailers looked very promising and I'm always like open for new IPs. The combat looks like a ton of fun, the world looks very intriguing, so I hope this one hits, and now way more eyes will be on it because it launches in January, a way less crowded month. But yeah, that discussions with key partners part about their explanation is of course interesting because it's a PS5 console exclusive. So was this Sony saying, hey, we have The Last of Us in September and God of War in early November, we can better use Forspoken next year, and maybe there's something coming in October that we don't know about yet. Like, I still think, and I'm holding my fingers crossed, for a Forbidden West DLC, which would make sense in October looking at when Frozen Wilds, the Zero Dawn expansion, launched. And Sony also still has 2 unannounced live service titles planned for before April 2023. There is now also a rumor about a potential event in August. We have these rumors like very often, but I hope that they will have like a September or August event, just like last year. There does need to be a lot of time between the reveal of a DLC and the release, same for these live service games. We also saw that with Ghost of Tsushima Legends, it was announced and it launched 1 month later. We will see. Before we look at a shift in focus for Rockstar, I quickly want to touch on some other PlayStation news. A new patent was namely spotted. Hard to make sense of it with all the text, but Derek on Twitter, really recommend the follow by the way, I will leave a link to his Twitter in the video description. He puts it very nicely. So the idea is that the spectator watches a live stream, then the streamer creates a snapshot, so basically a save state that is viewable and shareable, and then the spectator can click on that snapshot, launch the game, and play the streamer's snapshot. Or in other words, if I for example show that I can instantly kill a machine in Horizon Forbidden West with a certain build, I could make a link that you can then click, and then you can play with my build and kill the machines like I did for likely a limited time. I think this could be really fun to give another layer to tips and guide videos. It's of course a patent, maybe we will not see it, but it seems that Sony is working on this for quite a long time already. We also have some sad news. Sucker Punch namely says that there are no plans to revisit the infamous or Sly Cooper series, and also that no other studio is working on these franchises. I always thought like Infamous did not make a lot of sense because they already have the Marvel properties that will of course sell more, and Sly Cooper like also did not really set the world on fire in terms of sales, and that is what Sony is looking for. But I did buy the rumor that Pixel Opus behind Concrete Genie was working on their Sly Cooper iteration. Well, that's sadly not the case. While on the other hand, I prefer like Sucker Punch to focus on Ghost of Tsushima and a new iteration of Legends, so it's kinda bittersweet. Just like new updates from Rockstar, Kotaku reported that a Red Dead Redemption and GTA 4 remaster were namely shelved after the GTA trilogy debacle. Now, I would have loved a Red Dead Redemption 1 remake, but overall it will be a hard sell, another Rockstar remake after those older GTA games that were of course full of bugs and glitches. The most important reason though is that it's finally time for Rockstar to focus on a real next game. The current plan is to get Grand Theft Auto 6 finished and out the door. I'm told a Red Dead Redemption and GTA 4 remaster aren't entirely out of scope and could still happen in the future after GTA 6 ships. And we also learned this week that we will not get any major Red Dead Online updates anymore, as they also focus on GTA 6 instead. Like, it's really getting closer now. I think they're shifting most of their resources to this next game. I could see an announcement next year with a planned date for the end of 2024, but then of course in true Rockstar fashion, it will get delayed to holiday 2025. Like, that time period will be crazy, with Assassin's Creed Infinity planned for around that time, Ghost of Tsushima 2 probably, the new Mass Effect, Witcher 4, Far Cry 7, all launching around the same time. Could be pretty wild. But more imminent is a brand new Ubisoft Forward event. They announced one for Saturday, September 10th, and first, this Sunday video included quite a lot of predictions for that show. But when I was going, I was like, I can way better make a dedicated video on this where I can go way more in depth, talk about recent rumors. So look forward to that in the coming days, or maybe it will be next week's Sunday video, because I'm still like in the sort of holiday break period. I just came back, but I will actually be taking another trip with some friends. Not a lot going on right now anyways, so recharging my batteries, because I think like starting mid-August until the rest of the year it's gonna be pretty wild. I'm excited for that, so take some time off. Dennis and Joyce will be doing the same, but yeah, you will be hearing them more often in the coming week as well, as we prepare some other videos. So yeah, totally aim to have another Sunday video up next week, even though I'm gone, and after that, I'll be back in the groove of things, I should say. Let me know what you're looking forward to in the coming weeks, or what you're playing. I'm kind of curious about that. I'm personally playing Plague Tale Innocence. Finally getting around to that. I'm really liking it. Of course, to prepare for Requiem that is launching in October. So that's another title I'm looking forward to. Just quite a lot coming, but right now we're in that calm before the storm period. Hope you enjoyed this Sunday video. A like would of course really help us out. Subscribe to be up to date on these videos and other content that is coming throughout the week. You can check out that Skull and Bones gameplay video by clicking on the screen if you're curious. For now though, we will speak to you soon. Goodbye.